So Nvidia has just announced their newest technology, DLSS 5, also known as Deep Learning Super Sampling 5, which is their newest innovation and technology using AI to improve the performance of games and improve the visuals of games. And let's just say that I don't think this statement is exactly accurate with what we are looking at. And let's just say people are not happy with what they're seeing. This video has over 45,000 dislikes, 10,000 likes, announcing Nvidia DLSS 5, an AI-powered breakthrough in visual fidelity for video games. Basically what DLSS does is it'll allow you to play some of your favorite games, and it tweaks the settings just a little bit where it lowers the actual visual quality or the resolution of the game, and it'll use AI to essentially upscale the textures in a way where you get the visuals without the performance hit. And for the most part, people have always been kind of fine with that. That is until we get to DLSS 5, where we get something like this. And to show you guys, I'm not cherry picking. I do have these settings on 4K, so this is the highest quality. As we can see, just look at the background. Like, in my humble opinion, the background does look pretty nice. I think that's what this program or this feature, I think that's one huge thing that like this technology would benefit, is to take like low quality textures or just kind of make the backgrounds and lighting appear a lot better than the game actually allows. But to completely basically change people's faces into characters that they are not, I'm not a fan of. Now, when I first saw the reveal of this whole DLSS 5 thing, I was laughing and kind of joking about how it looked like this. You know, these GTA 5 videos where people would basically run the game through an AI filter and end up with something like this. And that's exactly what it is. They literally turned the meme into real life. We're past the point of like, haha, this would be so silly and crazy if it looked like this, to it's literally now going to be a thing. Why the heck is that dude backwards, right? Now, obviously, the game is not going to look this uncanny. It's not going to look this weird, because this is obviously trying to generate things completely using AI, right? Like you have like backwards vehicles and cars that are like shape-shifting into little bikes, and mountains will turn into humans, and like trolls will start walking around. I like see shadows. It has no idea what shadows are, because again, this is all AI generated. AI is basically creating this image up as it goes. I don't know how to even describe this. Like, it's obviously going to look better than this because the game is running straight through the AI compared to the AI just kind of working with what it has in a video. Next, we have this video of Leon getting out of the car. As you can see, obviously, the game's lighting matches kind of what's going on in the world, right? You have the darkness coming from this side. You have what seems like the natural ambient light from the moon kind of hitting his face. And then it's going to flip to the DLSS 5 version, where now there's like a ring light hitting him, right? A ring light causing this weird aberration around his face. And this is luckily a good example of like how the technology, I guess, could be used to actually enhance faces. And the only reason that's happening is because it is a very close-up photo. It's kind of hard to mess that up. Next, we have this example for this old lady from Hogwarts Legacy. It just kind of made her look more old, added more skin details. But this one is where it hits. So obviously, bro does not look like a high schooler anymore, or like a a high school student, however old they are, 16, 17 in Hogwarts Legacy. Bro looks like he's like 35. Like he's getting off of this carriage to go clock into work. You can see where it does add details again to like the goblin dude over here, and again the background details get much more detailed, which again I think is a pretty cool feature. Like if DLSS 5 literally just like expanded or like upscaled textures and made it look like, you know, 8K quality and made the graphics look insanely detailed, I wouldn't really mind it. But the fact that it just turns everyone into like same face, pretty, you know, AI filterified version, you know, like those videos when people would take like Skyrim characters or like cartoon characters and they'd be like, oh, here's how the Skyrim characters would look in real life, and they literally just all look like the same exact person because they're using the same exact filter. This is kind of what this looks like. The only difference is the lighting is going to be a little different in each game because the lighting is different in each game. So of course the lighting of the character models is going to slightly look different. We then have a look at Starfield. Now I'm just going to say it right here. No amount of super sampling or upscaling or AI is going to make this game good. All right. So it's hilarious that they use this as an example. Here we have Marika Boros, NPC unknown, unforgettable character number 6040. And she's going to get the AI beauty treatment, right? She got the treatment, right? So she just went from looking like a much older woman to now a much younger woman. She lost like 20 years, which is interesting because, again, it made like the 20-year-old or like the 17-year-old kid look like he's 40, and now it made the 40-year-old look like she's in her 20s. But as we can see, like looking at certain details, again, the backgrounds look great. Like if this was a still image, you'd probably be like, okay, that's what movie is this, right? And I think once you start to like see it in action is where the whole facade of this thing really falls apart, you know? Just flipping through these frames. This is a video game. Nobody's mouth moves that. Hello there, I have a quest for you, you know, and their mouth is doing all that. And that's kind of where the facade of all this will come into play when you take a game like Starfield and slap some AI filter on it to make it kind of look realistic. It's not going to make the game's animations look any better, the facial mocap any better, because you're still stuck with Bethesda engine garbage. Even the hair, you know, it still looks really bad, which I guess is like a good example of like proof that this is still a video game or more along the lines of Bethesda, but the hair is just absolutely a mess. You even see like some of the jaggedness on her clothing from where like the actual clothing model has very like low textures or whatnot, low, what would you say, like LOD? I don't know. I'm not much of like a game designer or anything, but again, like this AI upscaling, super sampling, whatever, doesn't really seem to improve anything other than like the actual visuals of the game, but not changing the models, not changing things like animations, which truly kind of makes this technology fall apart. Here's another one for Starfield. This one to me just looks disturbing. This looks like, how would I describe this? Like VR or like a movie like Avatar, you know, and it's like a super CGI scene. You can tell that they're like a green screen going on, and you take like two real people and then like the background, and it's the outfits are CGI, everything is CGI, it's just like a real human's face. This is what the vibes I'm getting of this specific part of the video. Now, Nvidia ended up posting in this article a few of the like developers and game studios that are working with this program so far. Bethesda, of course, you know, Bethesda's like, you know, now that you can just make our game look good for us, you know, we have modders doing all that. Now we have this doing it for us. Let's just go ahead and release Skyrim one more time. Capcom, Hada Studio, NetEase, NCSoft, S-Game, Tencent, of course, Ubisoft, and Warner Bros, right? You have Ubisoft and Bethesda. You got these games sneaking in there, you know, the kings of slop themselves. And a few of the games we'll be seeing this work for are Aeon 2, AC Shadows, Black State, Cinder City, Delta Force, Hogwarts Legacy, Justice, Naraka Blade Point, Into Eden, Everness to Everness, Phantom Blade Zero, Resident Evil Requiem, Sea of Remnants, Starfield, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, Where Winds Meet, and more. Just really weird, really bad, in my humble opinion. Like, you can easily keep what Grace's face looks like without just completely turning her into generic, pretty AI woman. Again, the background looks great. Like, the textures, everything looks better. I'm not even going to be mad at that. Lighting looks better. Like, you could take a photo. If you removed Grace from this image, you could be like, oh, this is like a real life photo. Wow, it looks really nice. I have to admit, like the darkness, the shadows in the DLSS off version looks a little better. and on. I think it's a little too bright. Again, I'm looking at this from a gamer. I'm not looking at this from like someone who is trying to look for real life. Some of the things just look better as a video game. Like this light up here, for example, is another good example. It just completely disappears when you turn DLSS on, as well as this. Some of the lights just kind of dim, which again is going to be something that gets lost. Whenever you are just plugging something into AI, it's going to lose a lot of the like artistic value, a lot of the sacrifices or little tricks that game developers use and do to, you know, make lighting effects or make character models do things or make like skin textures and whatnot. You literally lose that. You lose again how Grace looks, because that is not Grace. That's just a woman. And here's another funny example. First they give us this screenshot, of course, and then they give us this screenshot of Grace, which is just wacky because this doesn't even look like the exact same character, which it should be. This is Grace, again, just in a different screenshot. And these look like two separate people. These look like two completely different people, which kind of defeats the purpose. Again, the way super sampling and deep learning works is it'll take the original image and just kind of upscale it, tweak it a little bit. If every single frame of this game is going to look completely different just based on the lighting and whatnot, there's a problem. This right here, for example, this kind of effect could be achieved in the game already, right? Like there's literally no need for this like AI upscaling to get this. We've seen video games with visuals akin to this screenshot, so that's kind of like a bad example in my opinion. Now they included a few more screenshots as well that we can look at. Again, Starfield, terrible game. Not sure how this is going to fix the game or make it better in any way. But yeah, this woman's eyeballs got bigger for some reason. Like you can literally see this side by side. Her eyeballs just absolutely got massive. Okay, I mean, like, yeah, I want NPC number 614 to look more realistic, I guess. Okay, cool. Then we have another look at Hogwarts Legacy, DLSS 5. Here it is with it off. It's on 4K again, so you guys know I'm not messing around here. This one is kind of an interesting example. You have this guy, he kind of just, again, looks human. You're going to get that issue you see in a lot of AI stuff where this face will look really great, but then like some of these characters back here will start to look a little uncanny. So this is how, you know, normal gameplay will look. Obviously, the other things we've seen have been like cutscenes. So this is the game without it on, and then this is how it's going to look with it on in gameplay. And it doesn't look that great. Again, it seems like this technology will be good for like super up close like cutscenes and whatnot, if that's what they're going for. But this just looks weird. This literally just looks really weird. Like it looks like someone screenshotted the gameplay and just said like, make this look realistic. And then it was like, okay, well, these still look like video game characters. These buildings still look like video game buildings from Hogwarts Legacy. You can't really tell the difference when it's far away. So again, this technology is probably going to need some work before they just pump it out there for any game to use. Now, Digital Foundry ended up posting a video hands-on with DLSS 5, our first look at Nvidia's next-gen photorealistic lighting. I love that they keep saying that, lighting. There's obviously a lot more going on here than just lighting. Obviously, people don't really like this, 37K compared to 18K likes, but they ended up getting their hands on some more Starfield gameplay.
That base render that's going into this, the base color, the base motion vectors, the base render to be as high quality.
And you can see here, DLSS 5 is on. Again, I feel like this thing needs work because again, you end up with stuff like this where it's just like anything that's not focus in like the front and center of the camera or like super up close, again, like faces and skin details, just become weird. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that these games aren't meant to look this good, and that's fine. People are going to like games for how they look. Some games look cartoony, some games look realistic, and some games, like Bethesda games, have that weird ugliness to them in animations and just quality of facial animations and the way characters move around and they like look around all weird and stuff like that. And just putting a real life filter on top of it is going to make that look 10 times more noticeable and awkward.
It's possible. Starfield obviously has some issues with its lighting. It's not
All right, so here's the DLSS 5 on. Obviously, again, I see absolutely no issue with like the way it makes some of these like things look. I don't know why they recorded their screen instead of actually like using a capture card. It's kind of annoying because you get like the weird like darkness that happens when you record a screen of something, but you can see like the lighting looks incredible. Like from a very rare glimpse, you could probably show someone a screenshot of this and they'd be like, wow, that's a like nice photo. Where was this? And then you see these characters move around and you instantly are just taken out of that and you're like, oh, that's just a video game with like an obvious AI filter on top of it. And it seems to also make everything like look super blue, right? It takes off like the green filter of like what Starfield has originally and just kind of turns everything blue. It's strange. It's interesting. And again, it's weird that they're using this technology on games that already kind of look, I guess, modern, when they should be showing this technology off for like older games that maybe could use a new coat of paint, that maybe a feature like AI upscaling or AI enhancements could improve instead of like, let's say, making a $60, $70 remaster. Someone could just use this and kind of get that. Now, they were also able to get their hands on Oblivion Remastered. Again, another game that looks really good. So the fact that they're like shoving this AI slop down our face for games that already kind of look good in a game like this that is like Unreal Engine crap where it still runs horrible to this day. You need like one of the strongest PCs ever, else you're going to be chugging along on 30 FPS. And again, like it looks fine. Even that looks fine. That looks like a video game. And again, it's going to switch to the DLSS mode where it just looks like a video game with better, more interesting lighting. And then you get this freaking weird Keanu Reeves elf. What the heck is this? Keanu Reeves on guitar looks super weird. And then here's this guy, for example. Like, what the hell is this? Like, it does not work in games that have stylistic, like, designs. Games with elves and goblins and, like, creepy-looking characters in, like, super pronounced, artistic-looking characters, it does not work for. And then this dude, like, his eyes, why is he, like, going cross-eyed? What is happening here? When he blinked, his, like, eyeball just changed. Bro, just, look at that. What is that? Bro just went Mark Zuckerberg on us. Next, they were able to get their hands on Assassin's Creed Shadows, which, to me, this looks interesting. Again, I've been in support. I think this feature is cool when it comes to things like sceneries, when it comes to things like backgrounds. Like, this looks cool. This looks like a real-life forest. Like, if you were to crop her out, this would look like a real-life forest, like, taken from a mountain, right? And then they're going to turn it off. Still looks pretty nice. I mean, the game runs like absolute dookie. Again, another game ruined because these game companies don't know how to optimize things and they want to like just shove thousands of gigabytes of textures into the game and make it look like trash and run like trash. But I guess put DLSS on it and it makes it look a little better. It's interesting they're not going to show how the character models look in this game, at least. We already know. Yeah, it looks good. It looks realistic. Okay, cool. Now what? Now, again, my whole thoughts on this whole thing is I think it's interesting technology. Do I think it's like good enough for the, price of GPUs and stuff to skyrocket and people not being able to buy graphics cards or store SSDs or any type of hard drive or any type of hardware these days because everything's doubled to triple in price? Absolutely not. I think that this is a gimmick of technology. This is just something silly that, again, I think would be better if you were to implement this into older games. Like if Skyrim had an update and it added this, that'd be pretty funny to just try it out and look around. It would look like if you download like all the Skyrim beauty mods, you just wouldn't need to take up 100 gigabytes of space. You would just have that filter on, the AI Slop Filter on, and it would just make every character look like Megan Fox and all the dudes will look like Chris Hemsworth. And again, I think older games would really benefit from this because it would just kind of make the games look different. And if there were like actual custom filters, or maybe people could make filters. Let's say you download Fallout New Vegas, obviously a game that looks like it's from 2010 because it is. Let's say we want to put the realistic filter on there. We're going to know it's Fallout New Vegas. We're going to see the Bethesda jank, but we're also going to be able to see it through different lighting, through, new lighting, new textures, new, character models and whatnot. But Instead, they choose to focus on like newer games, which is just a very interesting thing to do because we already know how these games look on max settings. We already know that these games look surprisingly decent for what they are. And that's where I'm going to wrap the video up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to know what you guys think down below. Appreciate you watching. Bye.